Here is a short video discussing combining like terms for polynomial expressions. So we'll do the first 4 problems in this worksheet. This worksheet has a lot of problems. In fact, has 30 with the answers shown near the end. But I'll do the first 2 and the last 2 because I think that probably makes the most sense. So let's take a look at number 1. So you have 5p squared minus 3 plus 2p squared minus 3p cubed. Whenever you have a plus in between 2 groups, because you have the first group in parentheses 5p squared minus 3, the second group in parentheses 2p squared minus 3p cubed, you actually could just alleviate the parentheses, kind of like just remove them, because the plus is actually, okay, whoops, sorry about that. The plus is not necessarily distributive like a minus. So actually we could just write like this, 5p squared minus 3 plus 2p squared minus 3p cubed. And the plus in the middle, I'll just color code it. I'll put it in green. But again, you could just remove the parentheses when there's a plus in between both groups. And then we want to stack. So you have 5p squared minus 3. The other one's 2p squared. And I'll put negative 3p cubed right here. So I'm also putting them in descending order of their powers. So now, what combines with negative 3? Well, nothing. So you have negative 3. What's 5p squared and 2p squared? Those are like terms. That's 7p squared. What combines with a negative 3p cubed? Nothing, because there's nothing else like that. Remember, we're calling these like terms for a reason. And there you go. That's how you combine like terms for number 1. And if we actually check the answer key, we see that we get the right answer. There we go. So let's try this again for number 2. But number 2 is a little different. Number 2 has a minus in the middle. So let's get a highlighter out here. Minus, so that is distributive. So we do have to distribute that minus to all terms to arrive at that minus sign, because it must change the signs of what's to the right. So what I would do, excuse me, is say a cubed minus 2a squared minus 3a squared, and it becomes plus 4a cubed. Okay, very important. The 3a squared inside the second group goes from positive to negative, and then the negative 4a cubed goes from negative to positive because you're distributing a minus. Now we stack a cubed minus 2a squared, and you have negative 3a squared and 4a cubed. So again, the negative 3a squared, so negative 2a squared, negative 3a squared, those are like terms that becomes negative 5a squared. And you have a cubed, 4a cubed becomes 5a cubed. There you go. So again, we're deliberately stacking like terms. And you can see the answer for number 2, exactly what we got. Okay, I'm going to do the last 2 because those are a little bit intense. But again, it's all about like terms. So you have pluses for all these. That's fantastic. So what I'll actually start doing is I'll start writing out all terms in the first group like this. Then I look at the second group, 3xy cubed. That is definitely just like the negative 9xy cubed in the first grouping. So 3xy cubed. 7y4 is nothing to combine with, so I'll just put it right here. And negative 8x4y4 also has nothing else to combine with. I'll put it right here from the first group. Then the third group, you have a 3x4y3. Put it right here, directly below the negative 9x4y3 from the first grouping. 2xy cubed, that is just like the xy cubes in the other 2 groups. And then, of course, anything that doesn't combine, you just leave it as is. Then we have negative 9x4 y3 with positive 3 x4 y3. That's minus 6x4 y3. We have negative 9, 3, and 2. Negative 9 and 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 and 2 is negative 4 x y3. So you're not really changing the variables at all. You're just combining the coefficients that have identical variables to other groups. And again, you can check the answer key. And they write it in a little different order, but not a big deal. But notice that they have negative 8x4 y4, 7y4, negative 6x4 y3, and then of course finally negative 4x y3. Last one. So you do have a minus. So what I'll do is I'll make that a plus and change that to negative and make that negative as well. And then stack them like we've been doing for the previous 3 problems. So you have y3 and negative 7x4 y4. You have negative 10x4 y3. That doesn't combine with anything from the first group, so I'll just put it off to the side here. 6y cubed, bingo, lines of the y cubed from the first group. 4x4 y4, bingo again. That combines with the negative 7x4 y4 from the first group. And for the third group, we have negative x4 y3. That combines with the negative 10x4 y3 from the second grouping. And then a negative 6x4 y4, I'll put it right in the middle there, because that combines with the x4 y4s from the other 2 groups. Now they're stacked. Negative 10 and negative 1, that's negative 11, x4 y3. Negative 7 and 4 is negative 3, but then negative 3 and negative 6 is negative 9. So you have negative x4 y4. And finally, y3 and 6y3, that's 7y3. And there we go. We should have all the like terms combined. Let's check the answer keys to make sure we got it. And yep, negative 9x4 y4, 7y cubed, negative 11x4 y3, all looks good. So this is how we would go about doing these problems. So I did the first couple, which were not as intense, very easy variables. But then obviously in the second page, there are a lot more terms you have to consider, as well as some terms that have multiple letters in them. But still, they're like terms. Don't treat them any differently as you would with combining like x squared or x or constants. But when you're in an algebra 2 class, you will be dealing with more advanced terms. So you want to make sure you're comfortable with combining them. It's the same rules, just make sure all the letters come along for the ride once you combine the coefficients. All right, that concludes the video.